Everyone, since we don't have a chair and vice chair, we'll get started. I'll just lead the process. So as everybody's aware, as of July 1st, the mayor assumed strong powers under the Municipal Act through Bill 3. And those powers include the appointment of chairs and vice chairs. The mayor currently is conducting some public consultation with the public, staff, and with members of council. So until that time for the chair and the vice chair, I'll just ask if there's any volunteers. And then at a certain point in time, the mayor can confirm those appointments, and then we'll go from there. So yes, Mayor Davis.
Yes, I'd like to nominate myself as vice chair.
Okay.
But I'd also like to tell the committee that I'm quite happy with our normal process, and whatever the normal process results in today, then I'll just simply endorse it.
Okay.
Even if I should lose this vice chair.
Did you want to proceed with the nomination and the voting? Okay.
I'm gonna ask that we just follow normal procedure.
Okay. So are there any nominations for the chair?
Yes, I will volunteer, Mr. Clerk.
Great. Are there any other nominations for chair? Seeing none, Councillor McQuarrie, do you accept the role as chair, as there are no other?
Yes.
Perfect. And are there any other nominations for vice chair? Great. Mayor Davis, do you accept?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, Councillor McQuarrie, the chair is yours.
Thank you very much, Chris. So we have a very brief agenda today.
Point of order, Mr. Chair. This is pretty unorthodox what we're doing, but so what do I do now, Chris? Do I simply state that I'm endorse the decision made by the committee?
So you'll have to provide members of council as well as myself with the decision letter, and then within one business day, then we'll post it online. Those are that's what the regulation says. As
Okay,
prescribed.
all right.
Mayor, I would suggest that it be at least 500 words in length, expounding upon your decision-making tree, and make sure you copy all concerned. Thank you. So declarations of conflicts of interest. I can't see you guys, so just yell out when you want to be recognized for anything, okay? Presentations, delegations, nix on that. Resolution establishing the committee. You've all had a look at that. We've got items for consideration, 5.1, 5.2. Can I get a mover and seconder for all the items before us today, if I could, and just yell out, please. Thank you, Mayor Davis, for moving. Thank you, Councillor Carpenter, for seconding. Establishment of meeting schedule. Your thoughts, committee members. Seeing no discussion, shall we just leave it to be at the call of the chair for the first meeting? Is that okay with everybody? Mayor?
Yeah, I would hope that we would be meeting at least bi-monthly, but maybe at the call of the chair may be appropriate at this stage, given that we're into the summer and the committee is just at its genesis, and just we have to give some thought as to how the committee moves forward to achieve the intended result. And hoping maybe at our next meeting when we have a better handle on that, we can decide how frequently we want to meet.
Mayor, thank you. So can I presume then that you're moving meeting one, call the chair thereafter bi-monthly?
Yeah, I'd move that.
Okay, and do we have a seconder for that? Someone?
Sure, I will.
Thank you. Discussion. Then let's go to the question. Chris, if you could conduct the vote, please.
All those in favor, please raise your hand. Motion carries.
Thank you. And now on to 5.2, the identification of tasks. Discussion on this. Yes, Councilor Carpenter.
Well, it seems to me that if we had to identify the tasks before we identified how many times we have to meet, we'd know what the workload looks like, but having tasks after determining how often we're gonna meet, sort of seems to be backwards to me. So I just, once we get identified the task, I guess then we can adjust the meetings.
Well said. Thank you. Further, Councilor Carpenter, to that.
Oh, that's it.
Okay. Anyone want to suggest something to fill in beside the letters? Any takers?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Richard, Councilor Carpenter.
I think you want to look for a lacrosse team. Is that what we're professional sports teams we're talking about?
Yeah, so if I might,
Mandate's only professional sports, right? So it doesn't, we can't deal with any of the local sports stuff.
actually, mandate is major sports, not major league sports, but major sports, which would be things like Red Sox, things like Bulldogs, which the mayor will hopefully continue to look after on his own. Things like, as you said, Councilor Carpenter, looking for a major lacrosse team. We have junior C lacrosse. We have 2 other junior hockey teams that I'm aware of, or we did at least as of about 60 to 90 days ago. There was some transactions there. So those are the sorts of things we're looking at. I think we did become aware that we have an intercity cricket team. So maybe one of the tasks is for us to provide a list of those teams and sports that we think we would like to engage. How would that be, Councilor Carpenter, for point A?
Yeah, and the teams that are here already, you mean?
Correct, yes. Yeah, a list of all the major teams that are, like above the age of 18. So the junior sports, not the minor sports, but the junior sports, the senior sports. Maybe that's task A.
Sure, okay.
Okay, so item A then would be to compile a list of teams that we will engage, current local teams and prospective teams that we will engage. How's that?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, so that's going to be point number A. Anybody got a point B?
Facility review.
Sorry, say again?
Professional facilities review.
Excellent, yes. Review of major sport team facilities, yes. Okay,
Even ones that we don't own.
correct, yeah,
Because there is one on Elgin Street.
yes, of course, yeah.
Some facility that's empty all the time. for
Is there-
basketball. And there is an opportunity to locate a triple C basketball team here because Hamilton has decided they don't want one. London has one.
Yeah, good point.
And that
Yeah.
facility would meet that requirement. on
Okay,
Elgin Street.
yep. So venues, yes, good point. Point C. So we would, I think as a point C, we would want to develop,
Good to speak out. Okay, I want to say something.
He's got to jump in when
Yeah,
he doesn't have 2 screens.
yeah. So, Mr. Chair, I'd suggest that good idea for you to come into the meetings. It's hard to chair from where you're sitting, but in regards to the major sport teams, I agree with the discussion we've had. So I think the thinking is it would have to be a junior level team. Like, for example, there's a junior level C lacrosse team, which currently plays out of the Wayne Gretzky Center. But this third task, so task 1 is identify what is a major sports team that we are going to interact with. 2, which Councilor Carpenter brought up, the facilities review. And 3 would be, I suggest, a task would be liaising with and meeting with the teams,
correct.
representatives of the teams.
Mayor, would you, I should have asked this at the beginning of the meeting. Is it your preference now to be addressed as super mayor?
No, it's just simply mayor.
Just-
And Mayor Davis, and in private, it's Kevin.
You want Mr. in front of him.
Mr. Wood.
just looking for clarity. Yes, of course. So
Except for you, I'd like you to be on your knees and address me as your worship. How's that?
super,
This is recorded. You know that.
I'm just
super.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
Okay, so Chris, have you captured the 3 points then?
Yeah, provide a list, through the chair, provide a list of current prospective major teams above the age of 18 and sports that the committee wishes to engage. B, review of the facilities that can accommodate major sports teams. And C, liaising and meeting with prospective major sports teams.
Okay, excellent. Anybody else have anything further? Not Councillor Hutchings, Mr. Hutchings, did you want to jump in there?
You can see us, I put my, okay, let's try to speak.
I can
up or
see
not.
you all now, yeah, except for Mandy, who's scooted out of the picture.
Really? Probably because it slid over to me with the owl, has looked over.
Yeah,
So
the
just,
owl.
I know we're talking, we're seeing junior A hockey and junior B hockey and junior lacrosse and things like that, and maybe even basketball. We've had some discussions with some teams as well, Councilor Carpenter, regarding basketball. Is there anything, are you considering, sorry, I'm gonna go to my home base, like junior football, like Hamilton Hurricanes or university football? We've had discussions with them. Those sorts of levels, are we considering that? It's about the age of 18, that sort of stuff.
An excellent point, Brian. Thank you for raising that. Yeah.
Well, that, if I may follow on that point, then we have university. Laurie has teams, but there's no reason why Laurie can't have a Waterloo team and a Brantford team. We should be approaching Laurier and seeing if they want to do it'd be a great competition to have Laurier Waterloo playing with Laurier Brantford.
So we've had discussions with Councilor Carpenter about, they're looking at a new stadium up there and looking for an interim facility to play in, not in 2023, but 2024. So we can have those, this is the committee will look at that.
Yeah, it's an excellent point to raise, because when I think back to when I was in school, there were 3 campuses at U of T, and all 3 of those had intramural teams that competed.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, guys?
Yeah, how does this, how are we going to make sure we tie this in with the Brantford being the tournament capital of Ontario?
Good question.
It seems to me that we've named ourselves tournament capital. We're coming up to the 25th anniversary celebration. And if you look at our facilities and you talk to our local sports teams, they wouldn't say that we're tournament capital of anywhere.
Yeah. When if I may respond to that, Councillor, I'm in Ajax looking after my young protege once a week now, and we made a trip to the Ajax Iroquois Sports Center, and every August they host probably the biggest minor lacrosse tournament in the country. And there's no reason we can't have a look at having those kinds of things happen with respect to our boast about being tournament capital, Councillor, right?
The other thing I'd like to know is, how do we tie the county into this? Because the county has space for large new sports parks. We might have the capital.
Well, you've already introduced a review of venues and facilities, and we weren't specific about City of Brantford, were we?
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. All good. Any further discussion, guys? Okay, Chris, can you take us to the vote on 5-2 then, please?
Yeah, 5-2 with A, B, and C. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Motion carries.
Excellent. Consent resolutions, notices, nothing there. Could I ask before we meet again if members of committee could blue sky individually and circulate a list of sports and teams and some of the discussion points today, so that when we meet next, we can have a list which we've compiled and we can discuss. If I could ask members of committee to do that, maybe in the next, I don't know, before the end of the month, if that would be satisfactory, and send it, copy all members of committee, and let's get our thoughts on paper. Okay. Having said that,
Can I just ask a
sorry,
question?
jump in. Yep.
What's the staff on this? Is it Ella, or like, I'd rather the committee can circulate, but we're still gonna need the staff to put it together. Who's the staff member's gonna be working on this?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I think Kara and May are going to take a co-lead on it.
Okay.
I think that's what Sarah and I discussed. But having the task list now, maybe we can clean that up a bit
Yeah, I
and
just
start
want,
exactly.
so the council circling around and them trying to put it together, well, the staff person, we'll send.
Yeah.
Put me and Michael in on that email and we'll figure out who's gonna collate all this.
Yeah, so sorry, let me back that truck up then. If staff could circulate a memo to the members of the committee and the other staff involved about providing that list, staff can coordinate the receipt and distribution of the finished product, okay?
Okay, 'cause that may not be one list, it may be, you know, especially when you're blue skying, a thought comes into mind, this is a good idea, you send it,
Yeah.
another one, a couple days later, another one comes to mind, you
Sure.
do the same thing.
Totally.
yeah.
That's how blue skying works, actually.
Make it iterative, grow.
But you don't have to have a monorail coming out the other end, Councilor Carper, if you'll
Or
recall
driving
my exercise, yes.
You wanted to drive that, if I recall.
No, they get raccoons in them, I think. Okay, so any other thoughts, folks, before we adjourn? Okay, thanks very much for your participation today, and we'll look forward to circulating our lists and sharing those in the near future. And we are now adjourned. Thanks, folks.